Hey YouTube land, it's Brian Green with High Castle Technology again. So I played in this band and we were called Fall of Nicaea, and it was like so much fun for a couple of years that we did it. We were all just kind of carefree at the time, and you know, that beautiful time in life when kind of like no matter what you're doing, it's going to be super fun because you have no cares in the world. So I was the bassist. And I used to do like crazy stuff, like jumping around on stage when I had like energy. Now I'm just kind of like a fat lard of a parent. Time really is a son of a bitch, but hey, it was fun to look back. It's still fun to get together. But anyways, we got together and I decided to get the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera out and kind of look at the low light capabilities, and kind of this is what the result of that is. So one thing I did notice was it's a rolling shutter, and I think I looked it up, I believe it was 17 milliseconds to read the data. So what happens is the strobe light can go on, but when the strobe light comes off while it's still reading the sensor and saving that data, half of the sensor is in dark and half of it is in light because it takes time to read the sensor. And what you can do if you have a controlled set is you can actually time the strobe lights, the flashes and everything, so that this doesn't happen. But just kind of running gun, shooting around like we were doing, we're not going to take the time to set up and time that all out. So if that's what you're shooting, it is an issue. But other than that, I mean, this thing was money in the dark. So a lot of people talk out, Micro Four Thirds, oh, they can't shoot dark, you can't shoot low light. And yeah, sure, full frame is going to get more light, but this Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera does an amazing job. You can see the footage and it works. But if you took my Nikon down there and tried to shoot video with it, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see anything in the dark moments. And the Blackmagic Cinema camera keeps you can see the picture in the dark, but then when the light hits, I mean, it just does a really good job in this kind of concert environment with lights going. So the idea was just to play with it in this dark setting in the low light with a lot of flashes going on and really see kind of how it handles it. And man, it handled it really well. I was genuinely surprised. It was just fun. I kind of wanted to show you guys, hey, the low light shouldn't be too much of a deterrent. But yeah, this is just some test footage, really to show you guys that you can kind of shoot these low light stuff with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And I was shooting on an old FD lens. It was a Nifty 50 1.8, so the 100mm equivalent, which was kind of tough in close quarters. But so the Micro Four Thirds, it's not this low light nightmare that some people try to make it out to be. But I'm definitely glad I got this Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera because it's still killing it. I mean, it's 2018. People might look at it, hey, it's an older camera, but man, it is still crushing it. And with the 4K coming out, I mean, that thing's going to be a game changer. I can't wait to get that. So if you want to see some footage from that when that hits in September, make sure you follow the channel. But I'm going to be getting that as early as we can. I have not yet quite pre-ordered it because I don't know where I'm going to get it from. But right now, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera it's a workhorse. And working with the RAW is wonderful. And so we'll take a look at kind of the RAW versus ProRes. And then these are two different environments, two different lighting situations. But I did want to kind of look at this because I feel like the RAW really outperformed the ProRes when it came to low light. So these are some shots. It's fairly dark. And this I believe is an f-stop of 2.8. So, but you can see the difference. I mean, it was hard to get any more light out of it. And it was hard to get some contrast, and I know part of that's because of the lens difference. So this 2.8 one it's like a J.C. Penney lens. Apparently they made lenses back in the 80s. My grandfather got one. But the RAW versus the ProRes, I felt like it was so much easier to get a little more out of it. So there's definitely a difference between using RAW and ProRes, in my opinion, in the low light, and I think that's what makes the Blackmagic really kind of shine versus a lot of other Micro Four Thirds cameras in low light, is just its ability to shoot RAW. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the Blackmagic cameras. We're looking to get a new camera really shortly, just kind of a throw around one. I was looking at like the GX85. I might get Olympus. EM10 Mark II or 3, I'm not sure. So if you want to follow that stuff, please go ahead to hit the subscribe, and we're going to be looking more at the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. We're going to be looking at the 4K version when that comes out in September. But until then, I'll see you guys later.